Former President Trump speaking to Latino voters at a town hall hosted by Univision, and the economy such a huge priority for so many voters right now. According to Emerson College and our partners at the Hill, 37% of Florida voters say the economy is their top issue for them, followed by 17% who say it's housing affordability. Here now, an attorney and a business owner in the state of Florida, Christian Reeves. Christian, thank you so much for being here. First of all, what is your small business? What's your story?
Well, I'm an attorney. I also have a show on TikTok where I talk about politics, which is how you guys actually found me. So I handle personal injury and also sports entertainment law.
And what are some of the challenges in growing your business and your relationships in what has been a tough economy these last few years?
So I would say more so I've spoken to people in person as well as on my show about what their concerns are with the economy. And a lot of them are saying that sometimes what happens is they have an interesting situation where they can't get their trucking situation under control, and there are individuals that are selling licenses actually, and they're not able to get their trucking situation. The immigration is also a concern as well. But as far as the economy is concerned, there are so many situations where people cannot feed their families, and they have small businesses like grocery stores and things of that nature, where it's not feasible at this time.
You know, as you look to vote and cast your vote, and I know that that's something you don't want to share publicly, and I respect that. What have been your challenges economically over the last few years? And I understand you also are a mom, so that factors in as well.
So I'll just give you an example. So I went to the grocery store the other day, Publix, my favorite, and I went there and I just was shopping for myself, and I spent $100 just on myself, not anything with my daughter. My daughter's not here yet. She'll be here over the weekend. And just that alone, just realizing how expensive groceries are right now is kind of astronomical for one person to just get bananas and a couple of dinners, and $100, that's a lot of money for one person.
It absolutely is. And I'm the same, Christian. I go to the checkout and I do a double take on the receipt, and then I look at what's in the bags and I'm like, there's no way it costs that much. In addition to that, what are some of the other top issues, priorities for you as you look to vote?
So for immigration issues, I know that there are certain individuals that have to flee their home country, and they have situations where we could not fathom. I would say that, obviously the economy is affected by immigration when the undocumented aliens, they come in here and they work for less, or they do certain things for less. And then the people here in America, they're trying to look for jobs. They're trying to get the same job. And obviously we live in a capitalistic society and a world. So they're going to, obviously the business owners are going to hire the undocumented aliens that are working for less. So that's just the way that it is, unfortunately.
Education is another issue I know that's important to you and other parents who have kids of school age. Where's your focus at when it comes to providing your daughter with the best education?
Thank you for asking that. So it's very important to provide education. I'm an attorney, and so I definitely was very focused on education growing up, and I would definitely inspire any young women, young men, any children to go ahead and pursue your dreams as far as education is concerned. I know a lot of people are, they don't like college sometimes, or they think some things are a scam, but education really definitely helped me stay focused. It helped me to learn how to communicate. It helped me to learn and get my confidence. So I would definitely promote education 100%.
We've been focusing on the swing states, and Florida isn't necessarily a swing state anymore. Trump, I think, is favored there by almost 5%. I'm in Illinois, which is a blue state, and often you can feel disenfranchised, like your vote doesn't count if you're not voting with one or other party. What's it like to be in Florida right now, and would you have liked to have seen both of the candidates spend more time there?
Yes, of course. I mean, like I said, I have my show on TikTok, and I talk to Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. So I make that very important that everyone is included, everyone is invited. We want to hear both issues. I think that both of them should have probably had, to be honest with you, both of them should have got some more time in Florida. And I know it's not considered a swing state anymore, but there are some independents that are unsure about who they're voting for. So they should have probably taken some time, Kamala as well as Trump, to come back in here and really show show us what they're about, really explain what they're going to do for Florida and how they can help with immigration and the economy as well, specifically for Florida.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.